Alright. We are doing more. Oops, hold on just a sec. I got my foot wrapped around here. We're going to do the rest of West of Loathing. Hopefully it takes... I only need this stream to finish it. But... we need Phoenix in here. Star of tonight's stream is fashionably late, as always. What's the buzz, Florence? She raises an eyebrow at you and glances at one of her weird instruments. According to my weird instruments, there are 8 ghosts left on the premises. More precisely, there is 1 left on the first floor, 3 left on the second, and 4 on the third. Look at you, your unorthodox ghost dispelling methods. Guess I can't argue with results, but my science rifle is definitely faster. Well, this way she gets to go to heaven. Or Valhalla. Or whatever the afterlife actually is. The whole notion of an afterlife is so wildly unscientific, scientists have a special word for it. Oh, what is it? Did you figure out how to make good exploding cigar? One doesn't turn fun into a funeral. I can't even make basic wordplay funny. Well, it was kind of clever, but what other novelties did you invent? You must have had a good one. Well, I invented a can of mixed nuts that has a spring in it. So when you open it, the nuts spray out everywhere. That's kind of funny. Nobody would ever open the can because of how it said deadly venomous snakes on the label. Anything else? You know those flowers you wear in your lapel and it sprays water in someone's face when they smell it? You invented that? That's a classic. No, I tried to combine it with a chewing gum made of hot peppers. You invented a botanier that maces people? Uh-huh. Anything else? People seem to like those little sea monkey things. So I thought maybe I'd do that except funnier. And then I thought itching powder's pretty funny. You made itching powder out of brine shrimp? No, they're aquatic. It wouldn't work. I use spider eggs. Oh my god. Anything else? I tried to make an ultra-realistic stink bomb using pure methane gas. Turns out pure methane is actually odorless. That isn't why farts smell bad. Also, it's extremely flammable. You know those fortune-telling fish? The little cellophane things that curl up in your hand to predict the future? Sure. I don't know how it happened, but mine were 100% accurate, and it was always terrible news. Okay, never mind. You got the bleach, Ruby? What are you doing with bleach? Hey, Phoenix. Objection! Huh? Why are you object? What are you objecting to? Your face. Overruled. What's your problem anyways? Legal stuff. Damn jerk. Oh, still have to find that book. You have two books you could put back, Fun Law and Dueling Banjos. They go on different shelves, so you can't do them both at once. You find the shelf where Fun Law belongs and put it back. The next book on the shelf is entitled Gun Law, which might even be more entertaining. Definitely give it a shot. You learned basically everything there is to know about gun law. Now you can be the prosecuting attorney and defense counsel in addition to judge, jury, and executioner. You got the perk gun law. After that, you put the book back on its shelf. Time to dispense some justice. Found the shelf of Dueling Banjos. Put back on the shelf is entitled Dual Law, which seems to be about the legal issues surrounding dueling. Never know what that might come in handy. Alright, you learned all about all of the laws pertaining to dueling. It turns out when two guys want to murder each other in a fair and reasonable manner, things get legally tricky. You got a perk, Dual Law. Then you put the book back on its shelf. Cool. Actually, I need to go back to the gallery. Objection! Huh? What are you objecting to? Your face. Overruled. What's your problem anyways? Legal stuff you'd never understand. In fact, I think you'll find I'm quite conversant in the finer points of our justice system, particularly as it pertains to guns and gun-related activity. Horse or dash? You're all trousers and no briefs. Oh yeah? Fine. Obviously, you ain't going to leave me alone, so just ask your questions. No. Yeah. Okay. Horseradish. It's so funny the way I said it. I'm Phoenix Sizzler, speaking for the record. State your name, occupation, and cause of death. Felicity Wainwright, defense attorney. Lost a court-approved trial by combat. What? Trial by combat has been outlawed for like 15 years. You do understand that ghosts don't visually age as time passes, right? Alright. So your client called for a trial by combat, which meant you and the prosecutor had to face off in a duel. That's correct. And you lost? She squints at you. Are you acting dumb to try and throw me off guard? I withdraw the question. Why are you stuck as a ghost? Because although a trial by combat was already well out of fashion at the time, it was still a valid legal recourse. I should have been prepared for the possibility, but I wasn't. My lack of training resulted in an innocent man being executed for murder. Oof. How was he executed? Hanging, I assume. Obviously, I wasn't around to see it. So to release you, I need to prove that the loss wasn't your fault. The trial duel was completely fair and above board. There is no chance of there having been foul play on the prosecutor's part. My loss was my own. Then I'd have to prove your client was actually guilty, and therefore your feelings of responsibility are misplaced. The look she gives you is hard and cold. Look, you think you know a thing or two about the law? How about you tell me the first rule of being a defense attorney? Don't make fun of the judge's beard. Don't refer to his gavel as a weird little hammer. Don't accidentally call him mom. Don't refer to his gavel as a weird little hammer. You have to trust and believe in your clients. If you don't believe your client is innocent, you'll never convince anyone else he is either. So if I want to convince you he was guilty, you'll have an uphill fight, fella. You're essentially playing prosecutor here. Alright, tell me about the case. My defendant was Matthew Guilty McCready, accused of the murder of Victor Vic Timsbury at noon on June 18th, 1878 in Reno. I have some questions. Go ahead. Your client was actually named Guilty? Come on. Names don't mean anything. I once had a client named Ike Illidoggy, and he was totally innocent. For someone's actual legal name, sure. But nicknames are usually given with some sort of basis. You've never met a really tall guy called Tiny, or a fat guy called Slim? Arguably, the nickname Guilty would reinforce my client's innocence. That's totally absurd, but I'll let it rest for now. Let me ask something else. Go ahead. What was the cause of death? Timsbury was shot through the heart with a .45 caliber revolver. And did McCready own such a gun? Yes. He was holding it at the time, and subsequent examination showed that it had been recently fired. Are you messing with me? Any further questions? Yes, I do have some further questions, Jack. Go ahead. This was at noon precisely? Yes, that was confirmed by witnesses. Also, McCready owned a fancy pocket watch that chimed on the hours. There were witnesses? About half a dozen of them. Pretty sure there's something you aren't telling me. I'm not obligated to play my hand face up, Mr. Prosecutor. Okay then, go ahead. Hang on a sec. Shot with a pistol in front of a witness at exactly noon. Was this a duel? So you can add 2 + 2 after all. Well done. Well, as luck would have it, I've just recently read a whole book about duel law. What? Why? No reason. I just happened across it in the library and thought it might be interesting. You read an entire code of law you found at random just for the heck of it? Yup. Let me just do a quick review. A duel is illegal provided it's between exactly 2 people at a specific prearranged time and place using the same or at least essentially similar weapons, and they have to either face each other down and quick draw at the appointed moment or do the 10 paces turn and fire routine. Is that right? That's the gist of it, yes. So I guess let's start with you telling me the facts of the case, and I'll interrupt you rudely if I have any questions. Alright? But if you push me on trivial nonsense, I'll get mad and you'll have to start over. This seems fair. Go ahead. McCready and Timsbury got into an argument in a saloon on the evening of June 17th. Apparently, Timsbury accused McCready of cheating at poker. Go on. The bartender yelled at them to take it outside. But since it was dark out, they agreed to meet for a duel the next day. And that would be the 18th, you said? Yes, June 18th, 1878. Okay. Why didn't they just fight right there? Why didn't they just not fight? Did they set a specific time for the duel? Yes, high noon. Figures. Why is it always high noon? Tradition, I suppose. And since the sun is at its highest in the sky, everything's brightly lit and there aren't many shadows. So there's good for gunfighting. Makes sense? Plus you can have your duel on your lunch break. Let me ask something else. What happened next? Well, the next day, they both showed up shortly before noon and squared off about 30 feet from each other. When noon struck, McCready fired, fast enough that Timsbury didn't get his shot off, on account of having his head shot off. That's pretty much the long and short of it. I'm going to have to ask you for some more detail on that. Go ahead. Let's see. What weapons were they using? McCready had a .45 caliber single action Army revolver. Timsbury had an old model .36 caliber cap and ball Navy revolver, which he loaded with paper cartridges instead of packing the gunpowder by hand. Objection! Those are significantly different weapons. Are you kidding me? They're both pistols. A modern cartridge revolver versus an antique cap and ball loader. Ridiculous. That antique was in production until 1873 and was considered one of the most reliable and popular six-shooters in the territories. Furthermore, the restriction against differing weapons in a duel is about pistols versus rifles, or the proverbial knife in a gunfight, whereas a more recent example, a nitwit trying to argue the law against a professional attorney. Gee, this is a bit harsh. We're done here, kid. Oh boy. All right. He fired it exactly at noon? Yes, as soon as the church bell started ringing. You also mentioned McCready's pocket watch. Yes, he had a fancy pocket watch that chimed on the hour. Is that important for some reason? Okay, let me think of something else. You said there were witnesses. About half a dozen of them watched from across the street or peeking through half-open shutters. Were they interviewed? Yes, and their stories lined up with what I just told you. Were any of them known associates of McCready? I'm not aware of any of them being actual friends with McCready, but he was a local and a lot of people knew him. Wait a minute. Just where are you going with this? Objection. Oh, come on. Any one of those people could have interceded on McCready's behalf. What? And done what exactly? Well, they could have shot Timsfield with a more accurate weapon like a rifle, or then there'd have been 2 gunshots instead of just 1. Or are you suggesting they shot him with a poisoned blow dart gun? Or blowgun dart? Well, they could have shot Timsfield with a more get out. Oh boy. I have a question. What was the name of the saloon? The Two-Headed Horse. Where did they have one? No, I think the proprietor was going for sort of double entendre, but doesn't really work. Huh? No, it really doesn't. Two-headed spider maybe, but anyway, do you have questions or can we get on with this? Let's see. I already asked that question. This is a little different. So, McCready fired as soon as the church bell struck noon? Yes, that is what I just said. Have you got a point to make, or are you just stalling for time? Okay. Tell me more about the argument. There isn't much to tell. The other players in the game had already folded their hands in that round. So they weren't playing very close attention, or paying very close attention. All we know is that Timsbury suddenly accused McCready of being a dirty, cheating vermin. And McCready said Timsbury was just sore because he'd been losing all night. Did McCready have a history of cheating? He'd been accused of it once or twice before, but Reno is a gambling town, and he hung out in the rough part of it. Getting accused of cheating by a sore loser when you're on a lucky streak is par for the course. But if McCready had a history of cheating, it would be irrelevant because the reason for the duel is immaterial to the legality of the duel itself. Motive isn't an issue here, but remember how I warned you about ticking me off with stupid digressions? This is an example. Objection! This is extremely relevant. If McCready was a habitual cheater, it's likely he would have cheated in the duel as well. And somehow you're going to prove to me that McCready was a habitual poker cheat 17 years after the fact? How exactly do you intend to accomplish that, Mr. Prosecutor? Even if you did somehow pull that off, it would be circumstantial evidence at best. You'd have to prove he cheated in the duel itself, in front of the witnesses. What form do you imagine this cheating took, pray tell? Okay. It's not like I have evidence to actually present. All I have is arguments here. And the character here is not exactly the most intelligent one. What day of the week is this? Monday, June 17th, 1878. That makes sense. Everyone's always a bit grumpy on Monday. That should make the weekend Sunday and Monday instead. Then you could spend Monday relaxing instead of having to go to work. But then, whatever. Do you have any other questions? I'll go on with the testimony. Why didn't they just fight right then? Because it was dark. You can't have a gunfight in the dark. No, I get that, but they could have just had a regular old fist fight. They were mad enough to shoot each other to the death, but not to punch each other? Well, without getting too psychoanalytical, these guys were gunfighters. I mean, they counted that as a significant part of their identity. Fighting without guns was not just outside their wheelhouse. They considered it a waste of their time and talents. Like asking a fancy French chef to make you a grilled cheese sandwich. Let me ask something else. Why didn't they just not fight? What? Well, a fight breaks out in the heat of a moment. That's one thing. But they cool off enough to schedule a meeting for the next day? and still go through with it? A card game is a heck of a thing to get killed over. It's an honor thing, I suppose. That, and they were each confident that they wouldn't be the one getting killed. Yes, it's dumb, but it's also extremely immaterial. Toxic definitions of masculinity and the general lawlessness of the frontier are not what's on trial here. Fair enough. Let me ask something else. Do they have a specific time for the duel? Yes, high noon. Figured. Okay. What's next? Well, the next day they both showed up shortly before noon and squared off about 30 feet from each other. When noon struck, McCready fired fast enough that Timsbury didn't get his shot off, on an account of having his head shot off. That's pretty much the long and short of it. I'm gonna have to ask for more details. Go ahead. What weapon were they using? McCready had a .45 caliber single-action army revolver. Timsbury had an older model 36 caliber cap and ball Navy revolver, which he loaded with paper cartridges instead of packing the gunpowder. Butter by hand. Okay. He fired exactly at noon? Yes, as soon as the church bells started ringing. You also mentioned McCready's pocket watch. Yes, he had a fancy pocket watch that chimed on the hour. Is that important for some reason? Objection. Gah! McCready had been accused of cheating in the past, and this time he was. What are you even talking about? All he had to do was set his watch a few seconds early. That doesn't make any sense. He didn't shoot early. He shot when the church bells rang. That's verified by witness testimony. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he used the watch to warn him when the church bells were about to ring. A 5-second get ready alert would have given him a huge advantage in reaction time. Huh. What do you say to that, counselor? You know, I'll give you that one. That's not bad. There's just two problems with that argument. Oh, what? Firstly, you're just guessing. You have no evidence. And secondly, even if McCready was using that trick, which he may well have been, it was pretty clever. It wouldn't be illegal. What? There's nothing in duel law prohibiting the use of minor strategies like that. So long as McCready didn't fire before the appointed time. It's all above board. Nice try, Mr. Prosecutor, but I think you'd better go think about this case a bit more before trying again. Well, nuts. Alright, well, I think I've got most of the gist of this. You said there were witnesses, about half a dozen of them watching from across the street, peeking through half-open shutters. Were they interviewed? Yes, and their stories lined up with what I just told you. Were any of them known associates of McCready? Not aware of any of them being actual friends with McCready, but he was a local and a lot of people knew him. Okay. Okay. You'll have to look it up. Gambling town. Greedy had a history of cheating. Issue here, but remember. So McCready fired as soon as the church bell struck noon. Yes, that is what I just said. Have you got a point to make, or are you just stalling for time? I have another question. I'm in the DLC. I may not have all the information I need for this. I'm at the manor. I've already got those. Yeah, but there's got to be a walkthrough to where he goes through the story. I wouldn't be able to get through that story without the gun law or the dual law. Okay, roughly. Okay. No, I have not gotten that far. Fired exactly at noon, yes, the church bells. So, I can't question the pocket watch nor the church bells. So I don't have everything for this, do I? Yeah, but I have to win my argument with her though. There's a trapdoor in the ceiling over here. Too bad you aren't like 11 feet tall. Wow, you hope you never meet a live duck this big. No. I shouldn't need to. Knock knock. Yes. Phoenix and Florence, ma'am. The ghost hunters. Florence and Phoenix. Whatever. Have you been able to exterminate all the ghosts? I still feel haunted. 8 of them left according to the scanner. We're still working on it, ma'am. Don't worry. You can count on us. Alright, please let me know when you finish. Will do, ma'am. The only sheet music you have here is blank. Who do you think you are, John Cage? It's bad in every way. Write down all the spooky notes. Huh. Well, it took care of that ghost. Still can't find any legless pants. Have you come across any? How about this skirt? Look, I understand that genderization of clothing maybe shouldn't be a thing, but I'm kind of old-fashioned. Did I say skirt? I meant kilt. What's a kilt? It's a special kind of foreign legless pants for men. Here, try it. Hey, that's really nice. Thanks a lot. Alright, well, that took care of that. Well, now I gotta find the tea. Pinto and pinto kidney beans. You didn't think those grew on bushes, and you especially didn't think that both grew on the same bush. A wild tea bush. Take some leaves. Then second thought, you don't have anything appropriate to put them in. Planning on doing with them anyways. Can I have a teapot? Oh, I need boiling water. Go over the tools on the bench. You can definitely make a silencer here. Got the right size to you best. You drill a hole in each end of the can and carefully remove the beans. Then you soak the stuffing in a vat of acoustic dampening chemicals and carefully jam it into the can. Viola. Silencer. Nice. Fix the silencer to the barrel of your cooking pistol. Trying to figure out how I'm getting boiling water. Yeah, I need it for the tea. How does that give me boiling water? I got it already. Hello, sir. Hello again, sir. Did you find some real tea? Sure did. Here you go. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. She serves the tea and the four of you. Okay, well, not the doll. Except it with the pinkies extended in genteel fashion. Then, with a giggle and a wave, she fades away. Oh, thank God, I thought that would never be over. Look at me, I'm shaking like a leaf. Kind of a freaky situation, right? Having to deal with little kids freak me out bad enough. Having to interact with the ghost of one was horrifying. Anyway, thanks for the rescue. I need to get back to work. What do you do here? I run the candy counter in the visitor center. Oh. Kid's gone. This guy is gone. Mrs. Gunn is still here. Now I need to find some chalk. Figure out how to make a good exploding cigar, one that doesn't turn fun into a funeral. Well, I don't have all the things for it. What? I've already got it. I don't have all the ingredients for it though. Huh? Well, where is he? Well, nobody's here in the restroom. That's where I got the shower curtain. Where? Butter flavored candy stick, gunpowder flavored candy stick, steel flavored candy stick. What? Where is the cotton candy? I'm not finding it. Butter flavored candy sticks, 60 meat. I haven't seen that. Where? I don't see it. Oh, that's my stuff. That's my stuff.
Okay, so then you already have it. Okay, then bowling room. The bowling pin and fighting. Press the button to reset each time. And drop a bowling pin off the end.
And what good does it do me? I've already done this. I've already done that. I need chalk. I need chalk. Why don't you skip to that part? I've already done all of that though. All I care about is the chalk, because I've already got this cue. And where is that? Where is the carriage house? Are you talking about the... Oh boy. Yeah, what about it? Well, that didn't help me out at all. Alright, I got chalk. Chalk up your cue in the ghost racks to the balls. It's a close match. You have to consult the geometry book a few times just to work out all the angles. The game comes down to a fight for the 8 ball, and you manage to barely squeak out the win when the ghost catches an unlucky bounce off the corner of a pocket. Well, shucks, nice shooting, Tex. He flips you a finger gun salute, winks, and fades into nothingness. Well, he's gone. More precisely, there are none left on the first floor, 3 left on the second, and 1 on the third. Well, that's... So I gotta do the second. So there's 3 here. Because there's a librarian. What can I do for your time? Hey, shh, how many times do I have to tell you? Sorry, but I didn't know how to make guns quiet. Oh, really? Can you show me? You nod. You quickly and quietly leave the library, gather materials for a silencer, and head to the lab to craft it. You got an item silencer. You then return the library and present it to the librarian. I invented this thing that makes guns really quiet. Oh, how marvelous. Finally, I can rest in peace knowing that libraries will now be safe from the noise of gunfire. It is only in an atmosphere of quiet that true joy dare live. Bertrand Russell. And with that, she dissipates into nothing. He isn't famous yet! Oh, whatever. Well, the librarian's gone. So there's somebody else here. Oh, this guy. With the exploding guitar. Or cigar. I need to get the rest of the ingredients for it. I've already got the cigar. So what other things do I need for this cigar? I've already done all that. I've already passed that. I've done that. I've got it. Wait a second. What if you stuck this to one of those cigars you find? Yeah, what if? Did you figure out how to make a good exploding guitar? One that doesn't turn fun into a funeral? Okay, I think this is what you're looking for. That's an exploding guitar? Or exploding cigar? Yep. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but not this time. What did you use for the explosive? Found a really small firecracker. Just big enough to blow up the cigar without also blowing up someone's face. Also, without the, violent lead projectile. You're a genius. Please let me see it in action so I can finally rest. Alright, now I gotta take care of the attorney in the gallery. I'm gonna read them all again. Let's go. Let me just do a quick review. A duel is legal provided it's between exactly two people at a specific prearranged time and place using the same or at least essentially similar weapons, and they have to either face each other down and quick draw at the appointed moment or do the 10 paces turn and fire routine. Is that right? That's the gist of it. So I guess let's start with you telling me the facts of the case, and I'll interrupt you rudely if I have any questions. Alright, but if you push me on trivial nonsense, I'll get mad and you'll have to start over. That seems fair, go ahead. So what you're going to need to tell me is if I've got a question what she says. That seems fair, go ahead. McCready and Tinsbury got into an argument in a saloon on the evening of June 17th. Apparently, Tinsbury accused McCready of cheating at poker. Should I press it? Really? Okay, so I'll ask questions. What's the name of the saloon? What day of the week is this? Tell me more about this argument. What day of the week is this? Monday. Monday, June 17th, 1878. Well, that makes sense. Everyone's always a bit grumpy on Monday. Uh-huh. They should make the weekend Sunday and Monday instead. Then you could spend Monday relaxing instead of having to go to work. Then, whatever. Do you have any other questions? No, go on with your testimony, I mean. The bartender yelled at them to take it outside. But since it was dark out, they agreed to meet for a duel the next day. And that would be the 18th, you said. Yes, June 18th, 1878. I have a question. Why did they just fight right then? Why didn't they just not fight? Did they set a specific time for the duel? Yes, high noon. Figures. Why is it always high noon? Tradition, I suppose. And since the sun is at its highest in the sky, everything's brightly lit, and there aren't many shadows, so that's good for gunfighting. Makes sense. Plus, you can have your duel on your lunch break. Ask something else? Alright, well, the next day, they both showed up shortly before noon and squared off at about 30 feet from each other. When noon struck, McCready fired, fast enough that Timsbury didn't get his shot off, on account of having his head shot off. That's pretty much the long and short of it. We're going to have to ask him more details. He fired at exactly noon? Yes, as soon as the church bell started ringing. So do I ask about the pocket watch or the church bells? So McCready fired as soon as the church bell struck noon. Yes, that is what I just said. Have you got a point to make, or are you just stalling for time? Objection! God, what the heck? McCready fired at the wrong time. What are you talking about? He fired exactly at noon, with the church bells. There are witnesses. That's right. He fired at clock noon, but the duel was set for high noon. They aren't the same thing. High noon is just when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. Depending on the geography and the time of the year, it can be hours different from clock noon. McCready fired early, and that makes the duel illegal. So, what do you say to that, counselor? Felicity gives you a slow smile. I've got to hand it to you, Prosecutor Sizzler. You're a lot better at this than I give you credit for. That's a good thought you had there. There's just one problem. Oh, what's that? I already thought it. Take that. She hurls a small book at you, which you just barely managed to catch. You got an item, 1878 Nautical Almanac. Gah, the heck is this? I did my homework when I was preparing for the trial. My legal homework, since at that time I expected there to be an actual trial, not a gunfight. What you're holding there is a nautical almanac for the year 1878. There are bookmarks if you'd like to do the math yourself. But if you look up solar moon, aka high noon, for June the 18th and make the adjustment for Reno's longitude, what do you think you get? You have got to be kidding me. That's right, Mr. Prosecutor. 12 o'clock p.m. precisely. No! Well, damn. Nice try, though. I mean that sincerely. That's all my ammo. I can't think of any other way to disprove McCready's innocence. As far as I can see, it was a fair duel. Yes, and that's me with the guilt of an innocent man's death on my hands. An innocent man's death? You sure are good at repeating things people say. What if he didn't die? Say what now? Well, you didn't exactly see the execution, right? Yes, well, I was indisposed, you might say, being dead and all. So you don't exactly know whether or not it happened? Come on. Look, I appreciate the effort, but you're barking at the wrong moon. But you're barking at the moon. Let me ask you something. Alright, go ahead. Was the trial right after the duel? Was the trial right after the duel, the 19th? Haha, no. I don't know what Reno is like now, but it didn't have a proper courthouse then. And you can't try a murder charge in the sheriff's front parlor. McCready sat in jail for a couple of weeks, and then they transported him to Frisco. What with one thing and another, the trial didn't start until July 25th. Geez, so much for the right to a speedy trial. The wheels grind slow. I have another question. Alright, go ahead. What can you tell me about McCready? He was a gunfighter. Through and through. And by that, I mean he was an adrenaline addict. And dueling was his needle of choice. Hell, if you told me you had evidence that he cheated at poker with the specific intent of baiting people into challenge him to duels, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. He was a sly one. Her expression softened and she sighs. I make him sound like a real devil. That's not fair. He was smart and charming and could have been a good man if he'd chosen an entirely different life for himself. Anything else? Well, I recall he had a real good head for numbers. He told me that he never forgot a date, and every man he'd ever killed he'd remember to pour beer on their grave on their birthday. Well, that's nice. A nicer birthday present would have been not having killed them in the first place, of course. Yup. I have another question. Alright, go ahead. Why did he invoke trial by combat? Assuming he was innocent, why would McCready invoke trial by combat? His case was pretty straightforward. A duel only worsened his odds. I was mighty surprised, let me tell you. The only thing I can figure is it was his damn fool sense of gunfighter pride, or something like that, that the only form of justice he was willing to submit himself to. I have another question. Alright, go ahead. When was the execution? Well, we held the trial by combat on the 26th, and that was a Friday. They don't execute prisoners on the weekend, so presumably it would have been the following Monday, the 29th. The morning? Well, with setting up the gallows and letting a crowd gather, they usually happened in the afternoon, around 3 typically. I have another question. What? Book is almost entirely tables of numbers labeling things like logarithm of the radius vector of the Earth. You could look up any date in the year. Flip to chapter January, day. July. That was when McCready was going to be executed. Let's see. Wow, wait a minute. According to this, there was a total eclipse of the sun that day, centered right over the Western Territories, and with its totality at 2:47 p.m. That's a hell of a thing. I looked up July 29th in your almanac, and get this, there was a total eclipse of the sun that day. What? Now you're just messing with me. Now look for yourself. Totality at 2:47 p.m. right over the Western Territories. Well, that's quite a thing, but I don't see how that wait, unless you're suggesting. Right. It was a perfect opportunity for McCready to escape. That's absurd. Absurd like a fox. You said yourself that McCready was really good at remembering dates. He could have read about the eclipse at any time and stored the knowledge away for future use. Like to give himself an advantage in a duel or something. Alright, that's reasonable as far as it goes, but McCready couldn't have worked the eclipse into an escape plan, because he didn't have any say over the court schedule. You said, what with one thing and another, the trial didn't start until July 25th. McCready could have caused any number of those delays himself, by faking illness in prison, or messing with the horses on the ride to Frisco, or anything. It also could explain the trial by combat. I mean, there ended up being too much delay, so if a regular trial went on too long and he was found guilty, he'd have missed the eclipse. Exactly. Whereas if he called for trial by combat, everything would be resolved one way or the other in only one more day. Maybe you'd win and that'd be fine. But if you lost, he could use his escape plan. I have to admit, this is pretty compelling, but it's all maybes and what ifs. Yeah, maybe it happened, but maybe McCready was rescued by leprechauns. And are those leprechauns in Frisco? You need some kind of hard evidence before this is any more than just a fun story, is what I mean. Let me ask you something else. What's up? How can I find evidence of McCready's escape? Well, we don't know that an escape even happened. True. Something like that would have been in the news for certain. Alright, I'll see what I can find. So where do I find that newspaper? Librarian's gone. Oh, well, I just looked and just found newspapers. You find a few bundles of old newspapers at the bottom of the shelf, the Frisco Newsinator. You start at the bottom of the stack and flip through them until you find the paper for the week of July 28th to August 3rd, 1878. The main feature has to do with the eclipse and various accidents and spectacles that occurred because most people weren't expecting it. The editor apologized for burying the announcement in the previous week's weather forecast. Most notably, all 3 men scheduled to be hanged on the 29th escaped in the confusion, and only 2 of them were recaptured. Unfortunately, their names aren't given. You don't find anything else relevant to the case, however, as you're putting the papers back in order on the shelf, a headline on a more recent issue catches your eye. Husband of famous inventor missing. The article is light on information, but apparently Mrs. Gunn's husband, Dan, vanished on the road while traveling to Dirtwater on business about 6 years ago. Law enforcement suspected bandits, but no evidence was found. That's kinda grim. Hey, got a question for you. What's up? I found a newspaper article. The guys scheduled to be executed the day of the eclipse escaped, and one of them was never caught. Which one? Well, didn't say, did it? Nope, damn it. And executed criminals aren't given gravestones with their names on them, so you can't just go looking around Frisco Cemetery to find out. Listen, Phoenix, I really appreciate what you're trying to do, but at this point you would have to actually find McCready himself to prove he wasn't executed due to my failure. I guess that's what I'll do. No, I don't want to go to the mercantile. Hi, I'm Phoenix Sizzler. Any mail for me? Maze, actually? Package came for you here. Hi, I'm Phoenix Sizzler. Any mail for me? Nope, darn it. Trying to find a guy named McCready. There's a possibility he might have passed through here about 17 years ago. Passed through? We don't stamp passports here. Yeah, If he stayed for a while, I might have a forwarding address. Ooh, can you check, please? Alright, them books could use a dusting anyways. One sec. She pulls some big ledgers out of her desk and blows a huge cloud of dust into the air, then starts leafing through them. 17 years, round about 78, then 76, 77, 78. Marin, Mableston, Murphy, McCready. Got a Matt McCready. That the one? That's him. No forwarding address, but you could ask at his old place just out to the northwest of here. See your map. Oh yeah, looks like you already got it here. Desert House, that's the one, thanks. You dig until your shovel hits a wooden coffin and haul the lid open. A skeleton blinks at you. Well, it doesn't, but anyways. Howdy. Howdy, are you Guilty McCready? Well, now, I ain't heard that nickname in, what year is it? 1895. 17 years. No, I tell a lie. There was that one time 8 years ago. Same McCready that escaped the gallows during an eclipse? Well now, since the statute of limitations is expired, I might as well fess out. Yep, that was me. Real sweet plant too. Apart from that one little hitch, it went off smooth as silk. Even worked in a little misdirection to lead the law to them other two fellers. Dead-eye me. Serves them right too. They was real murderers, not like me. I never killed a man except in a fair fight. Except for that one little hitch you mentioned? You miscalculated how long to delay the trial. So in order not to miss the eclipse, you called for a trial by combat. Well, yep, that's the truth of it. You're blaming me for Miss Wainwright's death, I suppose. Why didn't you just trust her? She would have gotten you declared innocent. She had a real good head on her shoulders, sure, but so did that prosecutor feller. Didn't rate the odds better than 50-50. Not good enough. And anyway, the trial by combat was part of her job. She should have been ready. It stinks. She trusted you. She's a ghost now because she feels guilty about losing that trial. I spent ages trying to convince her you were innocent, and she backed you every step of the way despite the fact that you got her killed, and you don't even care. Hell, you bite your tongue, Sonny. You don't know me. Don't care. I did what I felt I had to do to stay alive. I felt damn guilty about what happened to Miss Wainwright. But I ain't talking all the blame for you. I ain't taking all the blame for it. No, sir. She'll tell you herself she should have been better prepared. Just like she told me that day. Apologizing at her last breath. Gave up gunfighting for her. Gave up the only thing I lived for. That's how I felt about it. You gave up gunfighting? Weren't easy, but I did. Bought this house, bought this land, raised some chickens, and had a little vegetable garden. Place has gone to hell since I died. It's a shame. Anyway, I never fired my pistol again. Not even at a damn fence post. That's not what it says on your grave. Oh, you did it again. That's the fella what killed me, having a little ironic joke, I reckon. Someone killed you? You're only the second person to track me down. First one was 9 years after the trial. Dick Timsbury's brother hunting for revenge. What happened? He challenged me to a duel and I told him I ain't doing that no more. He asked me again and I said no. And he hollered at me and I took my pistol out of the closet and threw it at his feet so he could see how the cylinder was all rusted shut. And he cocked his gun and asked me one last time. I said no. Last thing I remember's the bang. Jeez. Kind of him to bury me though. Guess he weren't all bad. Do you want to see Felicity again? Could take you to her ghost. I reckon I'll just go back to sleep. Ain't right, a dead fellow walking around. Just tell her sorry for me, alright? Here, you can give her my pocket watch. She'll recognize it. Alright. Bye, McCready. So long, fella. We'll hold back in. I got a question for you. So, are you ready for this? What now? I found Mr. McCready's grave. He wasn't executed. You're 100% certain it's him? Not some other man named McCready. It was him. Here, he gave me his watch to give you. Turns the watch around in her hands for a while, just looking at it without saying anything. Then she slowly winds it and listens as it chimes the hour. Yes, this is his watch, alright. Thank you. Wait, you said he gave it to you? He's alive? Not exactly, he's a skeleton. We talked for a while, and then he asked me to bury him again so he could go back to sleep. What did he say? He confirmed our guesses. He knew about the eclipse in advance, stalled the trial for his escape plan, stalled it too long, decided to hedge his bet by calling for the trial by combat. You see, he gave up gunfighting. What? He bought a little house and raised chickens. Never fired his pistol again. In fact, he left it to rust. 9 years later, Timsbury's brother caught up to him and challenged him to a revenge match. McCready refused repeatedly, so the guy shot him. He said to tell you he was sorry. She looks at you silently for a moment, and looks at the watch. She winds her hands back a minute, listens as it chimes again. She sighs and shakes her head, then smiles at you. Thank you, Phoenix. You'd make a damn fine attorney. She shakes your hand, fade from view. She does so, leaving her attorney's badge in your hand. Got an item, attorney's badge. There should be one more ghost. I don't think so. Hey Paul, how's it going? Goes here. Oh, I took care of her. Oh, thank God. I got to go wash this floor off and get back to work. But first, he starts frantically scratching every part of his body. Man, it feels like I've been saving up these itches for days. I was about to go crazy. Thanks, Phoenix. You're a lifesaver. No problemo. Come see me at the visitor center. Hook you up with a souvenir photograph. Alright. Where's the puzzle? Because the dictionary is in the library. Funk and Wagnall. Yeah, but I have to put it in a word just to look it up. Okay. What's the word? C-O-A-R-S-E. Course, the path that one follows to a destination. Great work. Only 5 more to solve. Okay.
The next one is Hawker. H-A-W-K-E-R.
Hawker, one who sells others on the notion that birds are really great. Great work. Only 4 more to solve. A venue for exchange of ideas. Only 3 more to solve. Idiosyncratic quantity of words encountered as cipher in this weird sentence. Great job thinking to check for this. Now only 2 more to solve. Toupee. Integument wig apt to aging vanities. Great work, only 1 more to solve. W-E-T-T-E-R. The 3 words that brought you here, and the 3 from pictures before them. Congrats, you solved all of them. them all. Save one. What's that?
There's actually one more.
Okay.
It's Carver.
How do you spell it?
C-A-R-V-E-R.
Carver. A burning pulley used to brighten machinery. Weird. That didn't work. C-A-R-B-E-R?
C-A-R-V-E-R.
V or B?
V as in violin.
You look up Carver in the dictionary. Carver. The dictionary has been waiting so long for someone to turn to this page that the natural geological process within the books have caused the pages to compress into a dense and very sharp material. You chip out a piece and fashion it into a makeshift knife. You got the item, the Carver. Congrats, all job well done. I got one more. There's only one ghost left. No, I've done the chili ghost last stream. Yeah. Knock knock. Yes? It's Phoenix and Florence, ma'am. The ghost hunter. Florence and Phoenix. Whatever. I do feel significantly less haunted. Did you get rid of all the ghosts? We sure did, ma'am. Actually, my scanner says there's still one. Shh. Yes, ma'am. All ghosts are accounted for. Well, that's splendid. Come right on in. Thanks. Hello, Mrs. Gunn. Hello, Phoenix, was it? Thank you so much for getting rid of all those ghosts for me. Yeah, about that. Turns out there's one left. Oh dear. Well, I'll need you to take care of it before I can pay you. Mrs. Gunn, I've got some bad news for you. Oh, what's that? It's you. You're a ghost, ma'am. Well, I'll be. When did that happen, I wonder? My condolences. My thank yous. You're very kind. You know, this does explain some things. Like what? Well, I haven't had any appetite for months. Nearly a year, in fact. They keep sending food up from the kitchen in the dumbwaiter, but I've just been dropping it out the window and sending the empty plates back to the chef. So the chef won't have her feelings hurt. There's also the fact that you're well translucent. Yes, I thought it was just cataracts. Mrs. Gunn, this prompts a question, you know. Oh, what's that? Why are you a ghost? I'm sure I don't know. You're the expert. Perhaps you can tell me. Ahem. Actually, that's me. I'm the expert. Do you have some kind of unfinished business? Something that's tying you to this place? Well, now that you mention it, yes, I suppose I do. Do you mind telling me about it? My entire family disappeared a few years ago. My husband and 3 daughters. But yeah, I heard about that. I'm sorry for your loss. The sheriff suspected they'd been kidnapped for ransom. But no one ever made any demands. They just vanished. I never found out what happened. I always thought they were taken away by ghosts. Why did you think that? I've always felt guilty about how many people have been killed by my invention. The belt buckle? The gun. Oh, right. I used to worry that their ghosts would come back to haunt me. When I built this house, I had an electrical anti-ghost field installed in the walls of this room, so they couldn't get in. No way, awesome! Wait, does that affect you? Well, I'm sure it would. If I attempted to walk through the wall, but it never occurred to me to try. Aha! After Dan and the girls disappeared, I became so sure that ghosts had gotten them that I locked myself in here. After donating the rest of the house to the Historical Society so there'd be someone to look after the place. Now I feel rather silly about the whole thing. Silly? I mean, ghosts do exist, obviously. Well, yes, but now that I'm a ghost myself, I can sense the presence of other ghosts. And they only just arrived in this house yesterday, or the day before. That was when I called for an exterminator. You know, I didn't even question how I knew they were here. But I don't think there have been any ghosts here before then. Why did they all show up yesterday? I couldn't say. They all seemed very angry and confused. But since they couldn't get in here, they gave up and started just wandering around the house. They gave up quite easily, actually. Maybe because you were already a ghost yourself? Well, Mrs. Gunn, what are we gonna do with you? What do you mean? You did contract me for 13 ghosts, ma'am. You're the 13th ghost. Oh yes, obviously I could simply renegotiate the number with you, but perhaps you should go ahead and exercise me or whatever you do. I'd rather find a more peaceful solution. A peaceful solution? What do you mean? Well, we can also release you from your ghostitude by solving the problem that's keeping you here. In your case, I guess that means finding out what happened to your family. I would be very grateful if you could. I assume they're dead, and to be honest, I think I've gotten used to that fact. But I surely would like to know what actually happened. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Hey, who the heck are you? I'm Phoenix Sizzler, but since I'm not the guy who's apparently hiding out in Mrs. Gunn's attic, I feel like you ought to be the one answering that question. Who am I? Well, that's just friggin' typical. I'm Chet Bullet, damn it. Am I supposed to have heard that name before? Yes, you damn well should have. Mrs. Gunn's invention would have been nothing without mine. Wait, let me guess. You invented the bullet? Phew, I thought for sure you were gonna say belt buckle again. Oh shoot. What a shame I get. You're damn right I invented the bullet. But I was her assistant, so should I get any credit? Hell no. Alright. I want to know why you're squatting in this. I don't care much for your tone. Why should I tell you anything? Well, I could just punch your face till it starts talking of its own accord. How about that? Well, it's too late for you to stop me anyway. So I suppose it couldn't hurt to tell you. Certainly not as much as not telling me would. When Miss Gunn dies, control of the company and patents passes to me. I'm no murderer, mind you. I like to keep my hands clean, but I figured there might be some other people who'd have a bone to pick with her, considering their manner of death. You summoned all the ghosts? That's right. All it took was some basic seance equipment. wired up to that house's belfry for amplification. A snap-formed mechanical genius like me. The seance scares someone's ghost related to the summoner. That's the whole point of a medium. A person who knows how to direct the summoning on someone else's behalf. So you get to talk to your own grandma instead of the summoners. You don't seem like the medium type to me. Well, like, small. But that doesn't explain something I've been wondering about. Oh? It didn't make any sense for all the ghosts here to be haunting Mrs. Gunn, because some of them weren't killed by guns, but they were all killed by bullets. Naturally, I anticipated there'd be a couple of those. That's why I rigged this room with an anti-ghost field, which I cleverly boosted so that ghosts couldn't even sense me up here. So your plan was to summon a bunch of angry ghosts who would initially be looking for you, but would haunt Mrs. Ghost instead? Or Mrs. Gunn instead when they couldn't find you? Correct. And once they've haunted her to death, Gunn Industries will be all mine. Well, I hate to be the bearer of good news, but Mrs. Gunn is dead. On the bright side, she's been dead for a year, so you pretty much wasted your time. What? Really? I'm rich! Now I just need to get out of here without all those ghosts spotting me. Yeah, the ghosts are gone too, so you're pretty much in the clear. Wonderful! The anti-ghost field is pretty effective, but it was starting to make the back part of my brain itch. He flips a switch on an electrical device and you suddenly become aware of the absence of an extremely low frequency hum right on the edge of your hearing. There's something else I want to ask you about. Ask away. What happened to Mrs. Gunn's family? Oh, they've been out of the picture for years. I heard a rumor. Dan got killed by desperados and buried in a shallow grave out in the backside of nowhere. But of course, I wouldn't actually know anything about that. Lucky for me, since I couldn't have inherited the company with him around, or their daughters. You son of a... Relax, the girls are fine. I'm not a monster. I'm pretty sure you're a monster. There's a weird little island kingdom somewhere on the other side of the ocean. Apparently it's stuck in some kind of bizarre temporal field that keeps nearly anyone from entering or leaving. Can't even find the place if you don't know how. Fortunately, I know a guy who knows how, so I gave the girls 3 free tickets to Sleepaway Camp. Wasn't that nice of me? You're an absolute bastard. Aw, that hurts my feelings. Fortunately, I'm about to have a whole lot of money to console myself with. Why you? Hold on. We should talk to Mrs. Gunn first before you tear this ass a new hole. Huh? I thought you said she was dead. Yeah. Hi, Miss Gunn. Hello again. Have you managed to find anything out? Yeah, I've got good news and bad news. Go on, I'm ready. Chet Bullitt had your husband killed and your daughters kidnapped, so he'd be the sole inheritor of your company when you died. He's also the reason all the ghosts were here. That son of... I should have suspected something when he suddenly started being so ingredients back then. And when he wrote off desperados on his expense account. I dragged him out of my will, but I suppose it's too late. That's rather galling. What's the good news? He says your daughters are safe. They're just on a magical island somewhere that nobody can get to. It's not exactly comforting, but at this point I'll take it. Plainly, if he'd wanted to kill them, he'd have just done so. Wait. You spoke to him personally? Yeah. He didn't know you were already dead, so he's been hiding in your attic for the last couple of days, waiting for the ghost to kill you. What do you want me to do with him? I'll leave it up to you. I'm not in a state to make any reasoned judgment. In any case, you've answered my questions, and I can feel myself moving on already. Thank you for all your help. The sad way Mrs. Gunn fades from view. Then, almost as an afterthought, the lock on her desk drawer pops open. Inside, you find a check written out to Cunningham Ghost Annihilation Services, which flows snags with a cha-ching and a blueprint. Alrighty. Bench covered with gunsmithing tools and supplies. Follow the directions on Miss Gunn's blueprint and construct her final gift to the world. You got an item, Mrs. Gunn's opus. That would be it. Well, are you finished here? I've got a business to run. You know what? We're gonna fight him. Beat the hell out of Chet Bullet, then hog tie him and drag him down to the visitor center. The employees assure you they'll hand him over to the sheriff of whatever jurisdiction this is. Good. What's that? You reckon you brought some reckoning to Gun Manor. Not the best possible reckoning, mind you. Maybe there's a better way to deal with Chet. I mean, there definitely is a better way to deal with Chet. I don't know why I said maybe. Anyway, feel free to poke around the grounds looking for loose ends to wrap up, but you're pretty much done here. No, I've not done the hedge maze. And we got time. I've already done that. I've already done that. Read those again. Or it starts vibrating as you get close to the weird shaped bush. Strange up and speaks. Not you again. Wait, you're not him, too. Nope, I'm Phoenix. Nice to meet you. I'm the hedge. The hedge? Yeah, the hedge. The source of all the magic in the maze. Yada yada. Boy, I can't tell you how glad I am to see somebody besides that dorky wizard. Did you? Yep. Took care of him. Thank you. I made the mistake of granting him a boon, and he started treating me like a god or something, coming around day after day, prostrating himself before me like a huge dweeb. Just awful. I mean, sure, I'm powerful and all that, but it's not like I did anything to get this way. I mean, I'm rooted to the ground, for heaven's sake. I just grew this way. Anyway, you mentioned a boon? Oh, sure. I guess I owe you that much for getting rid of that clown. Here you go. The hedge bends towards you and touches you with one of his bows. That's the perk. Boon of the hedge. Thanks. Don't mention it. Now, should be getting back to my business here. You can see yourself out, right? Yep, bye. This one I've already done because there's a portal at the end of it and I can't get into the portal. And at the end here is a dead end. This one has a portal and I don't know what to do with it. I got rid of the hedge wizard. I've already done them all. What? The maze itself? Okay, let's do them. Alright.
Okay. The next one is north, east, west, and south.
I messed up. Do that again. These are all newspapers. Alright, next. Knowledge says font of knowledge. You drank deeply from the font. Your mind fills with obscure trivia. Alright. Please tell me there's a Legend of Zelda reference in here. Yes. Northwest. Southwest. Hey, they have the music too. Alright, is that it? That was the best Easter egg ever. I've already done this one. There's a portal at the end of it. Well, it's the one where you defeat the hedge wizard. As the letters H and W. You're reading about the hedge wizard, right? I can do nothing with this portal. It won't let me. Unless I have to read this damn book. Let me find it. I may have already read the book. Because I'm not finding it. Thanks again for your help. What an ordeal. No problem. How's the itching? More or less better. I mean, hygiene is what it is. In this day and age, you know. You nod. If you like a souvenir photograph, only 200 each. Sure, I'll take one. Gun manor photo. Okay, then smile. Wait a second, this is a photograph of the house. Yep, an official gun manor souvenir photo. Why'd you take a picture of me then? Oh, that's just for a record. Okay. What's skinny, compadre? What's on your mind? Is the ghost hunting business, like, lucrative? Do you get a lot of business? Yeah, I do, okay. There's plenty of sudden and violent ways to die in the territory, so hauntings ain't exactly rare. I've never gotten a call for so many at once, though. Why's that? Ghosts are pretty territorial. Almost nobody has a house big enough for more than one. I see. Alright, Phoenix. We've done the DLC. Do you have a specific preference of where you want to go? That's just me being loud. Alright, let's take a look what you got, Sally. Okay, requires safe caching 3. Stock certificates. Good to see you again. Have you got those 5 piles of scrap yet? Yep, got them right here. Lost Dutch oven mine, huh? Never been there. Actually, never been to the Lazy Dude Ranch. Hey, like, howdy, I'm selling herbal medicine. Care to buy? What kind of herbal remedies? Herbal remedies, yeah. The kind that are gifted to us by Gaia without any interferences by human hand. So weeds? That's a derogatory term created by the man, but yeah, basically. Howdy. Hey, howdy, man. What's happening? That's what I was wondering. Well, not much, man. We moved into this little patch of land to grow crops, but then we decided it's more natural to just let Gaia grow whatever she wants, right? That's a lot easier, too. Haha, right on, man. Neat. Where'd you get that hair? Oh, this? A friend of mine made it, man. I forget which one. What do you take for it? Well, I've been thinking of trying a new style, man. Maybe like one of those hats that army guys used to wear back in the day, like as a kind of ironic statement, man. That's an old fort over yonder that way. I swapped you for one of those, man. Like this one, you mean? Nice, man. Barter is like commerce, man, except natural. Can you dig it? Yeah, groovy. Howdy, I'm Phoenix. Louise. Lathrop. Why the long face, Louise? Oh, jeez. Basically because I'm stuck here, farming with a couple of dummies who don't know how to farm a dang thing. So they just let the weeds grow and call it natural. So sick of eating dandelions I could scream. Why don't you leave? I haven't got any meat, or any other prospects, or anywhere to go. I mean, dandelions are terrible, but they're better than eating dirt. This is such a mess. How'd you get in this predicament? Headed west after graduating baking school. Fell in with those two because they talked a big game about natural grains. Fool that I was. Didn't realize all that they were really interested in was getting silly on local weed and not doing any work. So you're looking for work? Gosh, yes, desperately. They only trade. I know it's baking though. The only trade I know is baking though. You know somewhere that's hiring a baker? Heck, even unpaid would be better than this if it comes with room and board. Just want to get out of here. Do you happen to know a baker that needs some help? Really? That's wonderful. Oh jeez, I can't go like this though. I'm filthy. Nobody would ever let me step foot into their kitchen looking like this. Do you have a bar of soap I can mooch off you? Sure, no problem. Thank you so much. I gave her a bar of soap and directions to the bakery boy's bakery, and she sets off to find somewhere to take a bath before her job interview. Sure feels like she needs help. Oh, bag of shroom! You give the bag of shroom to Gary, and he tears it open and starts shoveling brown lumps into his mouth. A deliciousness! Groovy. Wow, those are some stinking fissures. I can't get any closer. Not without some stench resistance. Alright. I had something here first. Stench. You emerge from the elevator into a deeper shaft. By the light of your lantern, you see exposed meat veins on nearly every surface. It's unusual that there would be this much readily available meat left in a working mine. What were they digging for if not this? This guy is totally out of it. He's gibbering and drooling and doesn't seem to even see you. Put the Alvarado headband on him. You put the headband on him and he blinks rapidly, shaking his head. Oh my goodness, where am I? I'm still in the mine, uninjured, and hungry, but not starving. So I can't have been here very long, perhaps a day. Good. Well, I must have you to thank, friend. Howdy, feeling better? I should say so. Thank you for outfitting me with this. Remarkable device. Don't mention it. What's your name? Murray. Murray Morris. Excavator of the unknown and purveyor of mystery. Fancy. What brings you to this mine? Why, excavating the unknown for mysteries to purvey, of course, or at least attempting to. Must admit that until you put this device on me, I was quite overcome. Overcome? Quite. I'm oversensitive to psychic emanations, you see. Always have been. As it happens, this curious little hole is absolutely overflowing with them. And they're none too friendly. Can't tell you that for certain. It was risky business coming down here. But I took the gamble and lost. It's a miraculous thing that you happened by when you did, my friend. We should both get out of here as soon as possible. I've been staying in a town called Dirtwater to the south. Probably do some good business purveying mysteries there. Capital idea. Then I shall see you there. You have to pack in the shoulders and wave. See you there, Murray. As you get near the rocks, the voices in your head begin screaming too loudly to ignore. You have to get out of this pit right now. Fine. Landed your hands on the counter and leaned in towards the clown with a snarl. I mean, I'm sick of being played for a fool. You think I'm going to shell out that much meat to get into a dive like this? You've got another thing coming. Are you going to give me a ticket, or am I going to have to punch your ticket? Clown grins, showing you a mouthful of yellow, unusually pointy teeth. Think you're a real tough cookie, eh? Listen good, bucko. All I have to do is shout, and you're our new sideshow exhibit. We'll call it the Amazing Crying Bag of Mulch. Hey, get you in for free. How's that plan grab you? Why, I oughta. Step back, Junior, out of your depth. Off in the war game adrenaline, it's probably best not to bother him. Okay. Oh hi, good thing you let me know about this place. These boys were in a real pickle. Bakery-wise, I think with my help we'll be able to get this operation up and running real nice though. Glad to hear it. Thanks for getting us out of trouble with the mayor, I guess. How are we gonna become famous bakers now though? Not my problem. Okay. Alright. Pretty much the game is... I've found almost everything in the game. There's still some things I haven't found. The safe cracking was kind of the last skill you needed. Thanks to you, Gunman are reopened and delighted tourists for centuries. The residential positive psychic energy created by the ghost you helped leaked into the local water supply. In the decades to come, the business that sprang up near the manor were characterized by their environmentally friendly policies and charitable giving. Well, that wasn't in the other ending. After she finished getting the bakery boys up and running, Louise moved to Frisco and opened her own shop specializing in artisanal breads and pies. Unfortunately, after some unknown vandal kept breaking in at night and destroying all the pies, she had to switch to a breads-only business model. Kurtz left the fort and set up shop in Frisco. It's called an Fitness Group. Oh. Guitar duo the sent Dirtwater to start touring as Cornpole Holiday. Big hit in Frisco, but some people claim that their fans were all listening ironically. Solved all the Breadwood's problems. With the increase in morale and civic resources, they were able to clear the weeds from the road and fix the well, the broken hitching post. There was even enough left over to give the mayor's office a new coat of paint, refresh the facade on the buttery biscuit, and add a second story to the bunkhouse. They even managed to get that horse into rehab. Olive Garden and Cactus Bill lived happily ever after. They even had a few young'uns. Olive Garden. Chuck continued to write his blood and breakfast for that incident. Still hasn't replaced the windows. You won 4 of the reenactment scenarios, yeah. Do we have any more root beer? The Jelly Bean Museum became the talk of the town. Everybody's in line to see jelly beans. Remember, there's a local hero in Dirtwater. Thanks to your efforts, it became twice the town it was before you got there. They even put a statue of you in the main street. It was washed away the first time it rained because they made it out of salt. But still, it's the thought that counts, right? As for you, after your adventures, you settled in Frisco and bought a very long, very narrow house. You filled it with souvenirs of your exploits and started an antique hat rack collection. When you left home, you told Rufus you wanted to help people. Over the course of your adventure, you helped 52 people. You weren't whistling Dixie when you declared your intentions. If you had been Catholic, they definitely would have sainted you if you had. If you had asked. But you wouldn't have asked because you wouldn't want to be any trouble. I'm pretty sure I had other hats than that. I went and retrieved that one back. In 1806, all the remaining cows in the West were simultaneously activated by some kind of signal from hell. They thundered east, forming a gigantic single-minded herd. The bovine taint in your blood, not dulled by any of the passage of time, compelled you to join them. The infernal sadist Duke Bovicus took command of the cow army and drove it east into Dirtwater. Fortunately, a gang of rodeo clowns swept in at the last minute and slaughtered the herd just before it reached Dirtwater. Unfortunately, all of the townsfolk of Dirtwater had a hard time sleeping for pretty much the rest of their lives. Seriously, it was a grisly sight. 420 years later, deep beneath the ground, ancient machines suddenly stopped doing the thing they were built to do. It's probably fine. You and everybody are dead by then, and most of the humanity has moved to space. Still though, it's a shame about the planet. There were some cool bars there. You know, that's something I can go back to and fix all that.